What's tonight, folks? If this team get beat, we in the final four.
He's a poor man LeBron, bro, when it comes to trades. It's like, you guys look at, oh, KD, what you go
down 3 games is a quick sweep.
Not cap if you want to. Cap if you want to.
Oh,
Cap if you want to.
You know what's in me.
When I said that they let James Harden do the same thing and let Kevin Durant do the same thing, and they're essentially letting James Harden do the same thing again.
It'll cause a quick freeze.
I said Kevin Durant should have took a 50-50 blame, and Westbrook should have took a 50-50 blame too.
MJ fade away with the eyes closed.
But motherfucking damn, you feel me, on this beautiful ass motherfucking about to turn cold ass winter ass Monday, you feel me? I don't even know what day it is, you feel me? You better start bundling the fuck up because winter about to smack the shit out of you. You said what happened to fall? That shit fell. Okay, fell right in the winter. Okay, because that's what's about to happen. What's up, fellas, man? I'm back here with the motherfucking boys.
Hey man, it's cold outside. I already got a sweater on.
It's just hot as hell.
What's that shit? High hell here, high hell over here.
Hot as hell.
High hell over here. All right, but we got a show for you guys. Want to do something a little interesting. So I picked the guys' brains before we got on. And we kind of came up with some names. So I kind of wanted to do the topic of most underappreciated player currently right now. And I got some names for you guys. This is gonna be multiple parts because this is a debate. So I'm about to make y'all niggas fight. So round one, fight. I'm gonna start with Mulich. You got your guy, De'Aaron Fox. So I'm gonna start with the simple question. Why do you feel like De'Aaron Fox is underappreciated?
A few reasons. Main reason being he's been one of the best young guards to come out the draft or to come out his draft class. One of the most consistent, especially when he's healthy. As far as him having his team in positions to win on a consistent basis, of course, that's been the lone spot that's missing. But everything else has essentially been there, and nobody really talks about it. And then you pair that with his performance, not last year, but the prior. Even last year, you can even say his individual performance was really, really good. But the prior year before, when they make the playoffs, and unfortunately, they run up against the Warriors, a more experienced team. But even pushing them to a Game 7 down the wire, his play both on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball was literally him and Sabonis, which he's also on my list, but we'll get to him in a second. It was literally what catapulted that team to the next level. And I think obviously they took a step back this year defensively, which they can definitely get better at. And them adding DeMar DeRozan is obviously a plus, but just the play that De'Aaron has been exhibiting throughout, not only his career, but even this short time that we've seen the Kings kind of rise up and start to make a name for themselves. It's not really talked about, right? And then you see the reaction that you get out of him when he doesn't make an all-star team, or he's snubbed for the Olympics, or he's not in specific talks and stuff like that. So I think it's fair to say that somebody who's really been the sole reason why the Kings have been relevant hasn't been talked about. And then just looking at his numbers, how they've spiked up ever since the team has gotten better and the changing of regime and Mike Brown. I think it's definitely something he's definitely somebody that should be talked about a lot more.
Boo-Wop, same question to you, but you got Russell Westbrook.
That's pretty simple. I mean, to me, again, it's always the unrealistic expectations for players. When you ask somebody about Russ, the immediate going to tell you he's trash. Most people, he's trash. He's ass. My question is, then why do you still expect things from him? Since he's ass. Oh, because he's low key, he's not ass. Again, over the last 3 years, they've asked Russ in probably each season to adjust his role from something that in training camp was nothing near what they asked him to do. They bring him to these teams. Hey, we want you to be the point guard. We need you to run the show. Yeah. Midway through the season, maybe we should let James Harden run it. Or maybe we should let this guy run it. It's always him adjusting. And then when he adjusts and still give you decent production, you still call him ass. It's just that's to me, that's underappreciated. That's undervaluing someone, that's underappreciating him. And it's borderline, you're delusional because you think he's ass, but you still expect something from him. Again, he's going to keep a job because he's serviceable. No matter what you say about him. He's not the same player that he was 5 years ago, 7 years ago, but he's still a quality backup player in this league. I just think people keep associating his name as because it's like it's almost like they know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. They know they can't go too far, but it's just like they're still holding him to these unrealistic expectations. That's the real reason why Russell Westbrook is underappreciated.
I like it. Now we're about to switch it up a little bit. Boo-wop, let's stay with you, right? I want you to tell me why you feel De'Aaron Fox isn't as underappreciated as Russ.
As Russ, I would say it's because again, he's not what you call a first ballot Hall of Famer yet, right? He's not a guy that's been an MVP of this league. So I think for the most part, he's more underappreciated amongst again the top point guards in the league to a degree, but not like he's being snubbed out of real conversations. I think most people see that he's a top 30 type player, top 25 player, whatever, right? But again, I think what it is for the most part, people don't really care about players that's not top 10. Like if you're not in top 10 conversations, they don't really care about what you're really doing. They know you hooping, they know you decent, but they don't really care. Like they most of the conversations that you have with the average fan is about the top 10. Maybe you get a top 15. So, like, I think that's what it is for a guy like De'Aaron Fox versus a guy like Russ, where it's like Russ can't do no right. He can't, it don't matter what he do. He adjusts his role. He still ass. Look what he did in the fourth quarter. Look at that turnover he made. They're gonna nitpick everything he does. Versus literally just like having some type of objectivity when it comes to the man. They have none. At least with De'Aaron Fox, I think if anything, people would be like, well, is he better than somebody like he's more like the conversations with maybe a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, I guess. I think he's in that type of conversation. And I don't think that's a bad conversation to be in. Compared to Russ, where people are literally telling you they would rather have fucking PJ Tucker over Russ. Like, what the fuck?
Mooch, same question to you. Can you explain why Russell Westbrook isn't as underappreciated as De'Aaron Fox? I don't know if Mook could hear me. He's a little frozen right now. He's coming back. All right.
Am I back yet?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. Yeah.
Okay, for sure. I wouldn't say De'Aaron is more underappreciated than Russell Westbrook. I think he's appreciated where he's at. I think as far as him, he should. That's people kind of get it mixed up because when it comes to appreciation, I think Bua made a really good case as far as Russ goes. I don't think Russ gets underrated, but as far as underappreciated, I think he does, just based off his role. But as far as rating De'Aaron Fox where he should be, at least, there are a lot of people that will, like who I've said, put him in that Tyrese Halliburton category, which I do think he belongs in. But when you start to get into the deep dives of those conversations, of those categories, a lot of the times his name gets kind of buried amongst a few kind of guys who, honestly, if you really look at not only just the numbers but true gameplay, um, you can make a case that he's better than. And that was really my whole case in point, is that a lot of the times guys who are on bad teams get covered up by the fact that they're on a bad team, but they're still a really good player. And a lot of guys who are on really good teams get boosted up because of the fact that they're on a really good team. And I think De'Aaron unfortunately suffers from that. The fact that he's on a team that guys really don't look at. Sacramento is a small market. It's not a big market, so nobody's really going to pay attention to him. And you could tell just by ESPN and play other sports networks not even able to get the certain players names right. So it's like when people are trying to, when it comes to recognition, a lot of the times he gets glossed over, which I think is crazy because he did go to one of the top schools in the country, was one of the top guards coming out. So like even with guys like LaMelo and guys like Ja Morant, right, his name kind of gets glossed over when he's been in the league for longer. He's been on a more consistent basis for longer. So as far as when it comes to him and Russ, I think a lot of people, as far as that position goes, like to try to compare the two, but I think they're in two different classes because Russ, obviously, he's been to a championship. He's been MVP of this league. He's been a top point guard in this league for the better part of 10 years. But when it comes to the comparison of those two, I really don't think there is none because Russ is on the downside of his career, whereas De'Aaron is more still climbing and in his prime. So when it comes to him getting compared to the people that are like-minded or likewise talent, I do think that his name kind of gets glossed over, and that's the reason why I feel like he's a little bit. I feel like he's underrated because a lot of the times people they don't even really talk about him.
All right, we're gonna kick it back to Boo Up. Boo Up, I want some feedback on what Mulich said about underappreciated De'Aaron Fox. How do you feel about that?
Again, I think we probably feel the same way. It's not so much as an underappreciation, it's more so of underrated. And it's probably because he plays in the toughest position in the league, which is point guard. So it's easy to get forgotten about when there's guys like Luka, Steph, Shea, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you look at what Brunson's doing, you know what I'm saying? And you still got guys like Dame around. You still got like some of the Ja Morants of the world. Like, this is how you get lost in the sauce. When people start talking about those guys, because it's not that he can't be better than one of those guys in particular. Like a couple of those guys, you know what I'm saying, to a degree, like in the next couple of years, it's a lot of things that can happen, right? Like a guy like Steph, we're gonna imagine is on the decline, but you still got Luka, you still got Shea. It's gonna be tough for him to kind of like get in those debates. He's going to have to do something to make us put him in those debates. That's just how that goes. But as of right now, I can see how people, again, it's more so don't nobody want to talk about like the top 25 players. It's just what it is. Like they want to talk about the top 10, top 15, and he just simply don't fall into that category yet. I think top 15 is something he could do though. I don't know about top 10, but top 15, I think he could do that. Top 10, he would have to literally take his team to like the Western Conference Finals and be on like a tear to get people to like put him in those type of debates. Just what it'd be.
Mulich, kicking it back over to you. Why does Russell Westbrook deserve to be underappreciated?
I don't think he does.
That's not the question. That's not the question.
I know, but I really don't think he does.
That's
But
not the
if we
question.
if we going
That's
off
why
of
you
the
can't have a
question,
debate with these guys, bro. That's not. I had to get this bitch and mix it up. Fuck Russell
if we going
Westbrook.
off of the question, if we going off of the question, I think if he did, the reason why I feel like he might deserve to be underappreciated is there's a lot of things about his game that a lot of coaches or a lot of fans may not like, right? So the fact that he's never really been a strong shooter, and this is more of a shooters league, to the point where, you know, if he can't be the guy that's, you know, can facilitate the offense, but at the same time, um, you know, get his own shot, or be the guy that, you know, at the same time facilitate, like kind of like a Mike Conley kind of role, right? He's the vet, you know what I'm saying? He gets the offense set up, he has his savvy moments, but at the same time, right, if you need him to kind of stop and pop and hit a quick shot, then he can do that. But a lot of, you know, fans feel like because of his age and because of the player that he's always been, you know, he's never really been a strong shooter. He's always been more of a down the hill kind of guy, that that may hurt their team in the long run, right? If you look at the outlook of when he was on the Lakers, it's the same thing. Oh, he can't shoot. Russell Westbrook has never been able to shoot. Oh, he's a turnover machine. Russell Westbrook has always been a turnover machine. Like, you're nitpicking at the shit that he's always been, and just because he's doing it on your team now, and the shit that he does goes underappreciated. So I feel like if that's the reason why a lot of guys or a lot of fans or teams underappreciate him, it's that reason. It's because he has a singular way, or, you know, that way of playing, and he can't necessarily mold to the way of how some teams want him to play, or especially fans, because that's never been the player that he is. So I feel like that's the reason why he, you know, he gets underappreciated, or why he may deserve to be underappreciated in some fan bases. Of course, I don't think so, but to answer the question, that's how I'll be right back.
All right, boo out. Why do you feel that the Aaron Fox deserves to be underappreciated?
Stop asking me questions. You're not finna get me to just randomly debate.
Y'all halfway in the trap, nigga. Y'all halfway in the trap already. You're halfway in the trap, but why don't catch yourself now, nigga? You're halfway in the trap.
I'm not a debater.
That's that man.
I'm not Skip Bayless. Just get paid to bash people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna bash deserve to be underappreciated. It's crazy.
Nah, bro, answer the question, boy.
I can't, man, because I can't come up with nothing that makes sense. I just can't, man. There's no like deserve to me to be underappreciated. Like, I mean, if the only thing I could say is that he just ain't done enough here. He only been to the playoffs one time in his career. So if that's why you getting underappreciated, then that's cool. And I think that do got a lot to do with it, to be honest, though. Like, he has not done nothing significant other than went to the playoffs one time.
I mean, he did watch his boy get his ribs stepped on. I mean, you got to put that on his accolade list. What? But why he watched? I'm just saying, you know, I gotta get some jokey jokes in while Moolich going. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, De'Aaron Fox is the man, bro. Ain't nobody in the game better than him.
I hear you, man.
Nah, see, that's not the response. It's not the response, bro.
Nah.
Kill him, bro. I need you to kill him right now, bro.
I don't got much work for him, man. I don't, man.
I should have picked Sabonis, the guy who actually got stepped on.
You an asshole, bro.
What? What?
Stepped on. It's insane, man. Yeah. It's trash. So, I mean, how this supposed to be going with this debate stuff though? Like, come on, man.
Y'all not debating, bro.
That's what I
how you asking me? I didn't actually have two perfect questions to start it, and you just I think I'm with Moolich. I don't think he underappreciated. I just think this, and
Well, I did answer the question within the perimeter of the question.
You did, but Buwap is now refusing to answer his end of the question.
I just told
Nah,
you the
bro.
only way he gonna be underappreciated is if you just truly value playoff success or whatever, bro. Like, yeah. Again, I don't hear people like truly just like under appreciating him. It's more so like they just don't talk about him because people don't talk about players that's not just top 10s or top 15 players. Like that's what they don't do.
Yeah, and I think he makes a good point though. Like the reason why he's maybe underappreciated or underrated is because been to the playoffs one time, small, like I said, small market team. Like guys aren't going to really be checking for you if you're a good player, but what I'm saying, your team isn't good. So I think he suffers from that, a lot, unfortunately.
All right, I had enough. Final thoughts on this. That's it. Okay.
Messy.
I think both guys are
What happened?
underappreciated or underrespected.
I didn't put my red from the
right.
sideline hat on for nothing, boy. They should have told you I came on demon time.
Being real zaddy-ish.
Nah. Hold on. Don't make me pull out the Instagram live and say that's my Michelle.
Oh my God.
Who the fuck would you be referring to?
Michelle, nigga.
Michelle, as long as she thick.
You hear me? Michelle, that's how I'll be referred to. That's my Michelle. But anyway, last little course of the day. I thought this was interesting. They have the players with the most approved on every NBA team. So I want to know if you guys agree, and if you don't agree, who would you replace them with? Now, some of these guys' names are going to be rookies, second-year players. So if you want to replace them with somebody, except for the team of Boston, you replace them with nobody because I'm not even going to tell you who they put. All right, ready, Boo?
Yeah.
The Atlantic Hawks. Trae Young, most approved.
He does have a lot to prove. He needs to prove a lot.
Most approved on his team, though.
On the team?
100%.
Hell no.
Not on the team, but to the league for sure. Because a lot of people feel like that Eastern Conference.
All right, so y'all disagree. Who has the most approved on the Atlantic Hawks?
I don't fucking know.
On the team?
Yes, on the team. It has to be Trae.
Is Clint Capella still on that team?
I mean, it's easy. Trae is talking about relative to like the league because he's one of the better players in the league. But like, I don't know what else anybody else has to prove on that team. I don't know nobody.
Is DeAndre Hunter still on that team?
Yeah, he's still there. But I can't make up some shit like I believe that dude need to just be better or something. Like I think he is who he is.
I think they, as a team, or I think those two guys, well, just a lot of those guys over there need to just play a lot better or play up to a higher level, and try to match Trae's level. Because a lot of times when you see the Hawks in big moments, Trae is, pulling his weight as far as, scoring, facilitating the ball. But, Clint Capella, he'll go quiet. DeAndre Hunter, he'll go quiet. I think Bogdan Bogdanovic, who had a really good Olympic showing, he'll go quiet. You know what I'm saying? And he's supposed to be their spark. So a lot of those guys over there, not named Trae Young, probably definitely need to step up and get a lot better and prove that they're, that they can compete with, some guys in the East.
I think they need to prove that they'll be willing to say goodbye to Trae Young.
Well, I was just reading here. I was just reading here. It says, Atlanta may have already taken that plunge if not for the fact that San Antonio has control of the Hawks' next 3 first-round picks.
That does definitely play a factor.
All right, Boston Celtics. They put Jaden Springer. Excuse me. That's what I said. Some of these people are going to be rookies. I didn't even know this guy was on my team.
Was he drafted this year? like it.
Yeah, fuck dude.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, boy. Thank you. So who would you say on Boston has the most to prove? Jason Tatum.
Jaylen Brown now, the way he's been talking.
Could talk any way he want.
This is true. He did win Final MVP, but I'm just saying, a lot of people still question him being a top, top 5, top 10 shooting
top
guard in the league.
15. Oh, in the league, top shooting guard. I mean, we could discuss that.
So I mean, that he might have a lot to prove this year to silence those doubters. Saying him getting snubbed off the Olympics, and he may feel like he has something to prove this year.
I like you, but I'm gonna say Tatum.
Him too.
Got to win that Finals MVP.
He didn't win the Finals MVP or the regular season MVP. So
I mean, that's what I mean. The regular, you got to win that MVP. The Brooklyn Nets, they have Cam Thomas.
Oh, I don't think so. I think Cam is already.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he is.
Simmons has the most to prove. I'm
Yep.
gonna say that every fucking team he own and he go to in the league, I don't give a fuck what situation it is.
He got the most to prove.
He's gonna always have the most to prove.
Yeah,
so he start dunking on niggas again, putting his nuts in their face. He got the most to prove.
Or just stop being scared to shoot the ball. Honestly,
stop being a bitch. Really bitch.
Stop being scared to play basketball. At this point,
the Charlotte Hornets, they have LaMelo Ball.
Prove that he can stay healthy. I think that's really it when it comes to LaMelo, because they have they're starting to build a solid team. They are, they paid him, his contract. He's been the top, point guard in the league. Or young point guard in the league. It's just the fact that you got to prove that you can stay healthy at this point.
It's either Melo or Brandon Miller.
That's another good one.
See, there we go. Now we're cooking. We're starting to get the hang of this. All right. The Bulls, they say Patrick Willis, but I'm going Zach LaVine.
Same thing as LaMelo. Got to prove that you're worth the contract that you're asking for, and that you can stay healthy in order to justify.
Are you talking about Patrick Willis?
No, Zach.
No, talking about Zach LaVine. Chicago Bulls, they put Patrick Willis, but I said I will put Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I'm going off your pick because
okay.
I think the young kid Patrick, he got hurt, so we don't really. The jury's still out on him, in my opinion. But Zach LaVine, he's been actively looking for a new contract. He's been actively looking for Orban. The way he's been talking has been trying to make claims that he's one of the top, two shooting or one of the top shooting guards in the league. So it's like, if you want to justify them paying you that money, if you want to be established as one of the top shooting guards in the league, then first of all, you got to stay healthy and you got to fucking play like it. And that's what it has to be, because nobody's gonna pay you that money if you can't stay healthy, and they're definitely not gonna pay you the money, and you're not gonna be considered a top whatever point shooting guard in the league if you're not on the court to prove it. Like, can't justify paying you the money and putting you in a position when you can't prove it. You gotta stay healthy, bro.
What? You good on Patrick Willis?
Hell no, exactly.
Yeah. Cleveland Cavaliers says Evan Mobley. Agree?
I think it was probably fucking not Evan Mobley, but Jared Allen, honestly. Or no, actually, hell no. Darius Garland. What the fuck am I talking about? Darius Garland, nigga. Like, get your shit together. I don't know what the fuck you going through mentally, but
your shit.
Get your shit together, gang. Like, it's literally that simple, bro. Get your shit together, bro. Because everybody else on that team has been pulling their weight except you.
Yeah, he gotta, he was like in talks of being a top 5, top 7 point guard at one point. Like, everybody,
especially young point guard.
Yeah, like, he's just in la la land in the point guards. he's not even a top 10 point guard right now. So yeah, he
And
gotta.
we got to remember they gave up Colin Sexton for him, and Colin's been balling ever since he left.
It's
To
that
justify
Cleveland
that
team.
pick, bro. Shit, hey, you gotta play better. It can't be always be the coaching staff. It can't always be the offensive system. It can't always be this or that. Bro, at some point in time, nigga, you just gotta play basketball.
The Dallas Mavericks have Klay Thompson.
Basically, got to prove with the Warriors. We're gonna have you prove this year. Shit,
Kind of like
honestly.
he got a he probably do got the most, you know what I'm saying, to prove just because the way things ended in Golden State. On top of that, like, yeah, you just want to look. You just want to, I guess, if you Klay Thompson, you want to look like you still got game. It was the scenery, the pressure. I don't know, because you done got your little bread, like, so, like, you're not playing for no necessarily no next contract. I don't want to say, like, maybe if you have a good 2 years here and then, you might re-up with them depending on what happened. They win a ring, things of that nature. But like, yeah, realistically, I don't think Klay playing for no bread no more. So he playing for to prove that he still can be valuable and bring that same type of championship level play. I mean, I don't know. I would still say him though out of everybody on that team for some reason, but yeah.
Mulich said something. He disappeared.
Yeah, no, I think it's the same thing, though. You got to prove that you're still looked at still the player that you want to be viewed as, right? Like, of course, you got your money, whatever the case may be, but you got to be looked at as a guy who can come in, play a specific role, make big shots when you're asked to, and play defense when you're asked to, and not out when things aren't going your way or you're in a shooting slump. Because that's the narrative around you right now. So if you got one thing to prove, it's that you're still a good team player. You can still bring championship energy and championship experience to a team that needs it, and that you're willing to, play better. Shit, that's really what it is, bro. Same thing that you had to prove on the Warriors, but you didn't want to prove it. You left.
The Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray, which I kind of agree to. But
That's actually a really good one. Hold on, give me a second.
what?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, out of everybody, I guess it would be him. To me, he had an underwhelming type performance. I ain't gonna say underwhelming. He just wasn't good enough, like to get shit done this year. Obviously in the playoffs, I think especially against Minnesota, they kind of neutralized them. Uh, Again, this is a very young player still, but not really young, as far as like NBA years. By this stage of your career, you're kind of like, I think he's in years 7. I think this year's 7 for him. Not mistaken. Do my homework. Do my homework. But he's in the prime of his career. He has never made an All-Star team, All NBA team. Like he's again playing another guy playing in a very thick position, point guard position. I just think he needs to kind of like have one of those regular seasons that kind of put him in a different conversation, I guess. I think for me, in a perfect scenario for him, he would probably be the leading scorer on the team, I want to say. I think he should be at like 25 a game. But yeah, this would be year 8 for him. would be no, actually it's gonna be year 9 for him. That's crazy. It's gonna be fucking year 9 for him. But he only played, this would have been year 9 if he'd have played. He was hurt whole 21, 22. So
yeah, Jamal got to step it in.
Jamal. I think the main thing with Jamal is somewhat injuries, somewhat being healthy, because he did have a shaky injury history. But I think the other part of it is truly establishing himself as a top point guard in this league. And like Boo, I said, he does have really, really tough company. But if you're going to be paired up with Jokic, if you're going to be the quote unquote number two on that team or in that program, are you a top 10 point guard? Are you a top 15 point guard? Or are you not? And I think that's what it really comes down to, because there are times where he does have flashes or looks like, hey, this guy can really be a top point guard in our league. And there are other times where you're questioning, like, damn, like, can he? So I think with Jamal, I think it's just proven that he can be a top point guard in this league and establishing himself as such.
The Detroit Pistons, everyone.
Yes, including the front staff.
You agree, Boo Wop, everyone?
ain't mad at it.
All right. The Golden State Warriors. Jonathan Kuminga.
This is a really big one because he has been showing glimpses and flashes that he can be a really good young player in this league. And I think if he just kind of puts it all together and focuses more on other aspects of his game, because one thing that we do know is that he can score, right? He can get to the basket, right? He has a pretty solid jumper when he after he started to work on it. It's just the other aspects of the game, right? Defense and rebounding. I think that's the only part that really kind of holds him back. So with Jonathan, I think his main thing that he needs to prove is that he can develop into the type of player that not only the Warriors look to as somebody that's valuable and somebody that's worth the money that he's going to eventually be asking for, but that he can develop a different aspect of his game that is going to take his game to a different level. If he can be the type of two-way player that most teams are looking for, most young players are nowadays, then it's literally sky's the limit for a player like him.
What?
I'm gonna say fucking Andrew Wiggins.
I'm not mad at
That's
that.
also a good one. That's a really good one too.
Like this, again, is someone that's probably 28, like very young. There's no Klay Thompson here no more, buddy. Like I need to see. I think Andrew Wiggins should be able to average at least 20 in this league, bro. Like I don't think that's crazy to ask from like 2021, bro. You're 6'7" athletic wing, bro. Like I don't understand it. Like I need to see more from dude. I think he should be at 20 a game and in conversation to make all defensive teams at this stage in his career.
I think that's fair.
I don't think that's a lot to ask from him. I'm just being realistic, bro.
I think that's fair, especially looking at the outlook of what he did during the Warriors championship run. I think a lot of the times, or after that specifically, a lot of people were looking for him to step up into a bigger role, and he virtually regressed, right? And I don't know if people are going to chalk that up to his personal problems that he's been dealing with family. I know his pop just died, so rest in peace to his dad, but um, I know he was dealing with a lot of personal problems, off the field or off the court in the past few years. But like, I think a lot of people were looking for him to kind of step up and step into that role that everybody had him in, or step into that light that everybody had him in when he was drafted, and on the T Wolves, and there was just a lot of talks that he's supposed to be this this guy, and I think a lot of people are waiting for him to be that guy. So like who I've said, him averaging 20, 22 points a game, being one of the top defenders in the league. I think that's not too much to ask for a player like him. You're still young, you're a champion now, you have that experience, you got that notch on your belt. So I think it's time for you to kind of just establish yourself as that kind of player that's looked at as one of the best two way players in the league.
All right, the Houston Rockets have Jalen Green.
What's the young kid's name?
Which one?
What's
The
the young
center?
kid's name? Nah, I think
no, that's the Jalen Green. That's the what is he, shooting guard, right?
Nah, Jabari something Junior.
Jamari Smith.
Thank you, him. I think it's him. I think Jalen proved a lot, especially towards the end of the season last year. But I think as far as somebody who's really needs something, I think it's him. I think he has the most to prove on that team.
That's it. That's what you got.
I would, me personally, I would probably say either him or I'm not mad at Jalen Green because I get it. Truly, I get it. Like I think he has the most to prove because for me he's kind of their franchise player, I guess, right? Like, and he's to me, like Moose said, he did have like a decent little stretch last year for like the last 30 games. He was really balling. And I think what he's for me, I would say he got the most to prove is because I think he can legitimately be like an all-star caliber player this year if he gets started out and get that Houston team. Because I think the Houston Rockets could be like a sneaky playoff team this year. Like I think they could like sneak in depending on how things look down the stretch. I'm not saying get like a certified spot, more so like sneak in through the through the play in, right? So I could definitely see that for them this year.
That's a
I
fair
like
take.
yeah, I like Sengun. I like Jabari Smith. I like Jalen Green. Fred VanVleet is that kind of that point guard, that veteran point guard presence, championship, you know what I'm saying, pedigree. Uh yeah, I really like the Rockets, bro. Like as a young team in the West. So
That's a solid pick because with Jabari Green, with Jalen Green's play last year, especially towards the end of the season, that almost did catapult them to the playoffs. Like one game kept them out the play-in, and he definitely was part of that tear. So that's fair. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The Indiana Pacers have Benedict.
Benedict Mathurin.
There you go. Thank you, Mooch.
just fuck his name up, Troy, like you normally do. Slaughter it. Just fucking kill it, man. Call him Benedict Magician.
Benedict Magician.
Benedict Magician.
Benedict Magician. Who you think of the Pacers got the most to prove?
I'm not mad at that. I think he could be like a 6 man of the year type dude for sure. But I'm gonna actually say Tyrese Halliburton.
That's what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Halliburton.
Too much worried about WWE.
Yeah, and then it's just to me he has too many inconsistent playoff games. This run for me, I wasn't really sold on what I seen. I actually seen the Pacers kind of still be relatively good without him for the most part. Like they didn't fall off a cliff without him. You know what I mean? Like TJ McConnell was very serviceable. I do think that's a great um, offensive scheme that they're running. Rick Carlisle, you know what I'm saying, slept on coach. But yeah, I think it's Halliburton. Like again, he needs to try to separate himself and put a little bit more, I don't know. Maybe try to get into that top 3, top 5 conversation a little bit stronger. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go Hallie.
All right.
I think Ben is a solid pick, but Hallie is the pick. Uh, he did come on the scene a lot, or come on the scene, um, this past season. Um, a lot of people, in the Sacramento area, are definitely upset that he's gone, especially seeing the outlook of his career now. But I think what Buop said is fair. Him establishing himself as, one of the top guys in the league, or even in the East, that has to be done, right? So, and I think the best point was that the Pacers didn't look bad without him, right? They looked pretty good, and I think that's the reason why they probably pick a Benedict Mathurin, is because when somebody like a Tyrese Halliburton goes down, you can insert a guy like Benedict Mathurin, somebody who's a high frequency scorer, especially coming out of college, and that spot, and not really lose any, and not really lose any leeway from your team. But as far as Halliburton, it's like, first of all, you gotta stay healthy, especially going into the playoffs, and you gotta show up in big moments. There are, like what I've said, there's a lot of moments where you did look like, or it seemed like you were one of the top guys in the league, but in big moments and playoff moments, I don't know. It seemed like you just something else is on the mind. So yeah, I think either one of those picks for me, I think is fair, but I think the Halliburton one is definitely fair, because there's gonna be a lot of eyes on him this year, especially after last year. So
The Los Angeles Clippers, James Harden.
yeah, honestly, I don't think anybody's gonna look at Kawhi. I think we all know why. Shit, nigga. Gotta justify that contract that you wanted, because it was you or Paul George. They picked you. You gotta make them stand 10 toes on that decision, man.
Who?
I'm not mad at Harden. I do think, like Moose said, for the most part, I don't know if that's why Paul George isn't there for sure. For sure, like I do know they paid him a decent amount of money for sure. Uh, I just think for me, why it might be James Harden, it's probably because I do think he got something in the tank. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do believe that he kind of deserves some of that expectation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think he should be able to average 20 on this team now. Now that obviously now that Paul George is no longer there, I think he should be able to average 20, maybe 20 and 10. Honestly, I could see that scenario honestly for him, because again, he's that talented still. I don't see no real fall off. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna say Harden for sure.
All right. Lakers got Austin Reeves. I'm going LeBron James. Now let me stop. I'm playing.
Yeah, I'm going Austin Reeves.
Yeah, Reeves.
I
He
think
had a
Reeves
down
is
season.
good. Yeah, down
They
year this
kept
year.
Huh?
they kept him. You know what I'm saying? When they could have, I think teams was asking for him. I think in that Kyrie trade, I think Brooklyn was asking for him, and the Lakers kind of shut that down. Like they value him a lot, and I'm more so thinking it's the Lakers family than it is LeBron that value him that way. So yeah, he needs to get out there and play, because I personally don't think he's as good as advertised, but they looking at him to be a number 3. He don't look like a number 3 right now on that team.
Yeah, shoot, that's the biggest factor, right? He was vouched for, by LeBron. I think what Buwa said, that family, the Bus family, really likes him, the person that he is, and they're expecting him to take or step into a big role. But you got to establish yourself as that. You had a really down year last year, right? You had coming off of a solid playoff performance the year before, but if you're gonna establish yourself as not only a number three in on that team, but as a solid player off the bench or six man of the year candidate, whatever the case may be, or be part of a quote unquote big three, then you're gonna have to establish that on a more consistent basis. It can't be a Austin Reeves game here and 5 games later another Austin Reeves game, and you got to be consistent. And I think that's what ultimately what it comes down to is, can he be consistent in the role that he's asked to play?
The Memphis Grizzlies have Ja Morant.
Yes, prove that you are not a dickhead. It's that simple, bro. Because there's nothing on the fucking court that tells us that you can't play. We're not saying that your ability is bad and that you no, it's prove that you're not a dickhead. Prove that you learn from your mistakes so that you can stay on the court and play basketball, right? The game that you so-called love. If you love to play basketball, then be on the court and play basketball, right? But if you are more focused on the money and the fame and being a fake game member and beefing with Drake over fucking Instagram models, like, then your career is going to have a very different outlook. And a lot of people view you as one of the top point guards, young point guards in this league, and a true difference maker for that Grizzly team. So you got to establish that you are serious about shit, the role that you are asked to be, which is the leader of that damn team. It's that simple. You got to grow up, bro.
Boo up then dropped out and got his GED. Boo up. In case this nigga fell asleep, guys. Boo up. All right. Fuck it. Mulich. Miami Heat, Tyler Hero.
Yes.
Milwaukee Bucks, Chris Middleton.
You know,
1000%. There go Boo up. Boo up. Ja Morant, the Grizzlies.
No, I'm not gonna say Ja. I would say Desmond Bain. He's the number two on that team. I mean, he's a solid player. I think it's more so will he be. I don't know how well him and Ja can coexist. Cause like I did see some Desmond Bain to me kind of look like he at his best when Ja's not on the court. When he can kind of run that offense a little more, but I don't know. I think it's Bain for me. Just just as a number two. I don't know if he's the most ideal number two for that team.
Miami Heat have Tyler Hero. Boo up is only on you, Moolie Chain today.
I would agree with that. I think it's Tyler Hero. I mean, I don't know how much more you would have to prove, but I think everybody else has done what they're expected to do, and some. I don't know if he's really done what they expect him to do. If that makes any sense. I thought they jumped the gun on him, and I get it. You kind of pay players off of moments, off of projections for the most part, but I think he a really solid player, I guess, for that organization. I just don't know if he's as good anywhere else. Like I don't know if anybody else could run schemes where he can like I don't know why would you do that if you're another team. Like why would you bring he's to me another Jordan Poole to be honest.
I think when it comes to Tyler, kind of for me, not necessarily on the same level, but I can understand why people would say it. He kind of gets that Austin Reeves kind of narrative, right? Because it's more of a consistent thing. You came on the scene really, really strong your rookie year with, the finals run and stuff like that. And then you kind of drop off the next year, but you come back the next year after that. And I think it's more of a just consistent basis, more of a consistency. Can you be consistent as the player that you are and the player that people think that you are?
The Milwaukee Bucks boo out Chris Middleton.
I'm gonna say it's Dame.
I'm mad at that.
I'm gonna say it's Dame. This is like, to me, again, like at this stage in his career, you can't really ask for a better scenario. Honestly, you're playing with one of the best players in the world. You just got to make the most of that situation, because I don't see it getting any better than this. Honestly, like, where you gonna go? Play with Jokic next? Like, they got a point guard locked up over there for a couple of years. You know what I mean? Like, anywhere else you're gonna go, like, I think it's gonna be them asking you possibly to be the number one option. And I just don't know if you really have that in you, like, to
Yeah, at
be
this
the
point
number
in his
one
career.
option. Yeah, just I don't. I think that's asking for a lot. I think it's easier to be the number two to a guy like Giannis and maximize that situation. So I'm gonna say Dame.
All right. The Minnesota. Oh, wait, Mo, you wanted to add some more because I know you went already on that.
Yeah, no, I think I well, I don't know about Chris Middleton. I think Chris Middleton's proved everything he needs to prove. I think I'm gonna go with Dame as well. Main reason being is because you got the team now, right? Like we understand that, what I'm saying, you guys went through the injuries last year, but you got the team now, bro. Go out there and win a championship. Like that's the only thing I guess that people are missing to justify putting him on the top 75 list. But bro, go out there and win a championship. Can you win in big moments? And I think that's the biggest factor that we're looking at here is as a number two, can you know what I'm saying? Like when you were a number one, but now you're a true bona fide number two. And I don't think that you can there's anything that can boost you to a number one status anymore. I think Giannis is the true number one for that team. But can you win, bro? Like that's really it. We know you can hit the big shots. We know you can average a lot. We know you're an all-star. We know you're a good point guard. Can you win?
All right. The Timberwolves have Jaden McDaniels.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, I ain't really jacking that.
Because I think Jaden has established himself as one of the top defenders in this league. But I think Karl needs to step up and really establish himself as one of the best big men in this league, but one of the most talented playoff performers in this league. Can't continue to have small performances in the playoffs and be considered, one of the best big men in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be. You gotta start putting it together. And it's just for me, right? I gotta see him put everything together.
No, I'm with you, bro. Like, I'm gonna say Karl Anthony Towns, bro. He's another guy. When I look at his career, bro, like, he just should be better than what he is. Honestly, like,
I agree.
I get it. He didn't been hurt, but that COVID stuff that was real. I get it, but he's truly, I don't know, bro. He just got a weird career, bro. He just really do. It's like hard to judge. Like, he was really good 2016, 2017. Like his second year in the league, like he was amazing to me. Like I thought he was going to be the best big man in the league in a minute. Like he's giving you like 25 and 10, solid defense. Like this kid might be the best big man in the league. Like we wasn't talking about Jokic and Embiid. We was talking about this cat. Literally cat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Literally, cat.
so like It's crazy to see where he's at. It's only year 8 for him, year 9. Like, still 27, 28 years old. Like, you would think, like, he would easily, with the talent that he possesses, like, should probably be a top 15 player.
Quite literally. I think that's what everybody waiting for. Like, you proclaim that you're the best shooting big man in the league. You know what I'm saying? You got the size, and I just, watched the interview of DeMarcus Cousins talking about the infamous picture of him looking like he's gonna cry, um, trying to, back into the paint. So it's like you got to establish yourself as that guy, right? Especially like with the team like that, right? Like you got Ant-Man, who's already came in and he has the swagger, he has the mentality that everybody expects you to have. Like that's supposed to be your team, and he's just supposed to be a super big compliment, right? A 1A, 1B type of thing, if that's the case. But it don't even look like a 1B. Like you look like a legit number 2 to his number 1. And I don't think that can happen. I think that you have to establish your dominance in this league. And I think that's what everybody's been waiting for as far as him, the type of player that he is. Just establish your dominance in the league, right? Shaq has been calling it out for years. Regardless, we want to see you be more ferocious, more tenacious, especially in the playoffs. And until we see that, I think he's always going to have something to prove.
All right, the New York Knicks have Julius Randle.
Can you stay healthy? That's it. Can you fucking stay healthy, bro? That's it, bro. Like you're never on the floor.
They got Julius Randle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I mean, I'm gonna probably say it's probably gonna be either OG. Probably OG for me. I think they're looking at him to be more like the number 2 on that team. And he looked good. But I don't know how he's gonna look with Mikal Bridges. And we'll see, man. Like I don't know. The Knicks kind of weird for me to say like one specific player because I just think Julius Randle is who he is for the most part. Like even if he stays healthy, I don't think it's really in that team's best interest to keep him either. I think they need to try to part ways with him at this point.
That's true. I think that's fair. But even then, like going somewhere else to justify anything that they're going to pay you, to justify any type of playing time, the type of player that you feel like you are, you got to stay healthy, bro. Like it is what it is. Feel me? Too. But I do like that. I do like that OG pick. The only reason why I didn't necessarily go with OG is because I felt like he's still technically just got there, so he might still be trying to learn the outlooks of the team, and they might be trying to look to probably be him as the true number 2. But I don't like it's the Knicks are fucking weird though. Like I don't know if that's why they brought in Mikal and they want OG to be the solid number 3 with all of their other role players just kind of filling in where they get. I don't know, bro. The Knicks are a very, very interesting team.
OKC, Chet Holmgren.
I don't like that.
Who you got?
Jalen Williams. I think there's been a lot of talk about him and just how young and dynamic he is, and to establish himself as another one of the young dynamic players in the league, we are gonna need to see a lot more consistency, right? Especially with his offensive game. On defense, he's been showing a really solid, been really consistent, right? Just like kind of like Lou Dort, right? But offensively, I think what made OKC such a scary team was his ability to not only his ability to not only shoot the 3 ball, but get his shot or create his shot off a dribble. And because he's such a big player and that moves the way he moves, I think it's pivotal for him to kind of step into a new role. Like you can be that true number three. I don't know. I'm not gonna say number two because I think Chet has established himself as that with Shea and and the outlook of that team. But I think you can with Jalen Williams and the way that he plays, he can establish himself as a true number three on that team. And with all the other pieces that they got, kind of just filling in and forming in, I think with, with the way if the way he steps up, the way I think he will, I think that team can be very scary going forward.
Magic got Jalen Suggs.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that. I think it probably is him, especially with the addition of a guy like KCP. I think he probably gonna be the one that takes the most hit from this pickup. Um, which also might be unfair to him too, because they did bring in somebody that's gonna steal some minutes from him. Might even steal his job, to be honest. Because
I think
I
that's
don't want to
fair
see.
though.
Yeah, I don't think you can play him and KCP together
I
in a
don't think so
starting
either.
back situation. Because I know they're losing. What's the kid name? Markel Fultz, right? I think he's gone.
Yeah, he's going free
Yeah, they
agent.
did lose Markel.
So you got Cole Anthony and Franz Wagner. Like Franz is not really a point guard, he's more like a 2-3.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I can't really see again Jalen Suggs and KCP like as the starting backcourt. Now if they do it, that means they're giving Jalen Suggs point guards duties. I don't know if he's the ideal point guard. I don't know, man. Yeah, he might be in a tough situation.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I was going with that. Jalen is a special kind of player. He came on the scene really solid last year defensively, but I think this more outlook is probably offensively. Um, he needs to definitely kind of find his offensive game, kind of like he had when he was coming out of college, and I think that's probably going to catapult him to the next level as far as the type of player that he is and the type of career that he's going to have going forward. But like what I've said, them bringing in a KCP when they essentially play the same position, I think that's hard for him. So in order for him to kind of really establish himself not only on that team but in this league, he's got to step up offensively, right? He has to be, solid 15 and 8, 15 and 7 kind of guy, right? With maybe a few steals off the bench. And I think he'll find a solid role in that.
All right, the 76ers had Joel Embiid.
That shit crazy.
I know,
It
right?
might
Low
be
key.
This is Bleacher Report, by the way, too.
it might be him though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like
It's definitely Joel.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's crazy, but it damn near is him.
to
I,
me, Paul George don't have much to prove. Like he
yeah,
didn't
I feel
been
like
to a couple of conference finals himself. Like uh he's to me, he's earned his money for the most part. Like he's earned his contracts. Like I don't know. I can't say Maxi. He to me, he's been, earning his money. And I ain't saying Joel ain't earning his. I just think it's just because it's Joel Embiid. Like he should be easily considered by most a top 5 player in this league. But a lot of times people leave him out of those conversations just because he hasn't gotten as far as they would like to see him get.
yeah, I think that's fair. When you look at the outlook of the Sixers, they move. when Joel moves. And as good as Maxey is, as good as Paul George, so I think the reason why it's not Paul George because we already know who Paul George is. Like we understand the type of player that he is. He's already been to Eastern Conference Finals, right? Like it would have been to the Western Conference Finals if it wasn't for Dame. Like we understand the type of person that he is. It's just Joel. We don't ever get to see consistent Joel. And I think the most consistent that we've seen him was the year prior when he won the MVP. So I think if we see a consistent Joel, whether he's consistently on or whether he's just consistently not hurt, I think that's when people are going to start to put him in the spot that he feels like he deserves, which is that top five, top two, players in the league. But I think that's ultimately what people are waiting for, like just him to really establish himself as a consistent top player in the league and not a guy who turns it on when he wants to turn it on.
All right, we got the Suns with Tyus Jones.
Let's say Bradley Beal, if anything.
I agree there.
Yeah,
I agree there.
Easily Bradley Beal.
Yeah, because why Tyus Jones? Like he's a solid backup point guard. He's been a solid backup point guard since he came into the league. And everybody's had nothing but good things to say about him. Always gives people good minutes, makes good, decisions and good shots off the bench. But Bradley Beal, it's a guy who's, had no trade clauses, been a part of the highest paid players in the league. Like, no, bro, like you gotta make he came on the scene, during the playoffs yesterday. Like, I ain't never been swept in my career and it's not gonna start now. Like, hey, y'all got swept, bro. And you barely played this season. So you got a shit ton to prove. A whole bunch to prove. You should probably be quiet until you can play a full season.
Blazers got Scoot Henderson. Scoot Henderson. Pull out.
DeAndre fucking Ayton.
Thank you. Thank you.
Speak.
Thank you. That's it right there. DeAndre fucking Ayton. I had a conversation about DeAndre a few weeks ago, and they said that he was playing at a top level last year. I said, get the fuck out of here. If he was playing at the top level, then people wouldn't have been talking about him being ass in the beginning of the season and averaging under 20 points and barely averaging double-digit rebounds. So that boy got a lot to prove, dog. He's had a lot to prove since his second year in Memphis.
Sacramento Kings got Keegan Murray.
Fair.
San Antonio Spurs has Keldon Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Keldon.
I don't know about that
one. I'm gonna say what's that one kid name?
With the hair?
Sachin? Sokan? Whatever his name is.
Recon Socon.
Dude is like, I don't want to call him NBA player. Like, I just don't know what the fuck he be doing out there. Like, he just be running.
Oh, that the fucking truth.
Running. Like, I don't know. Like, but he seems to get a lot of tick, bro. So like, I'm gonna just say him.
I think everybody outside of Wemby got something to fucking prove on that goddamn team.
All right, the Raptors have RJ Barrett.
Can you dribble with the opposite hand? That's it and that's all. Because when you can actually dribble with your right hand, big dog, like you're a bucket, bro. But like, I don't know, it seems like he forget. Like he got another hand over there. He just like to dribble with his left hand.
Utah has Keon George. Keon George. I don't know how to say his name.
Keontae George.
There you go.
Keontae George.
Thank you, Boo.
I don't know.
See, I'll play it.
It's hard to really put like some I don't know what the fuck the Jazz is doing. I don't know if they're trying to make the playoffs. I don't know what they're trying to do right now. So it's like hard to like put some real expectations on that kid.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't really know the directions the Jazz are going in because at one point in time in history, they try to trade Lauri Markkanen, and then now they're extending him and they're still leaving it on the market for him to be traded just in case somebody wants to take. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know the outlook of the team or the direction that they want to go. If they want to be a playoff team, if they want to be a bottom of the barrel team to tank for pick, I don't fucking know. I don't know. He's on the list, and I'm gonna say accurate.
All right. Last but not least is the Washington Wizards. Alex Starr.
Bro.
Oh, did he just get drafted?
Yeah, he just literally just got drafted.
I think he got something to prove here.
Okay. I don't see no pool parties in Washington, D.C. soon, bro. It's gonna be a problem.
Thank you, because nigga, Jordan Poole. Nigga, what the fuck? Nigga, y'all better be pool party central. Okay? Like he has everything to prove. Okay? Like you gotta prove that you can still shit fucking see straight, nigga, after you got punched on like that. Nigga, like what the fuck? Shit.
We still here? We still here?
It seemed like your soul got snapped, bro. You just hate life. Nigga, shit, get your joy back, bro. Can you smile once? Nigga, shit. Nigga ain't seen you smile since you got punched on. Not the end of the world.
That was the last one. Final thoughts?
Hey man, I don't know what it is. I'm just playing. Make sure y'all tune into the rest of the shows throughout the rest of the week. Gentleman's Talk on Wednesday, PVT on Thursday. Which we do got a nice little announcement / surprise coming for y'all. And then Inside the Huddle talking that ish on Friday. Yeah, make sure y'all be there. I'll see y'all next Monday, man.
What?
Man, you already know I'll see y'all Monday, man.
Oh, man, you already know. I'm out of here. Fuck them both.